Welcome to Hell's Kitchen, but in the past. Listen up, you donkey. You think you've got it tough in the kitchen with your fancy gadgets and gizmos? Let me take you back in time to a kitchen with no blenders, no microwaves, not even bloody ovens. We're going back to basics, to the dawn of cooking, where fire, stone and clay were the only tools our ancestors had. And you know what? They produced some bloody brilliant food. So get ready to ditch your modern conveniences and discover the secrets of ancient cooking. Before gas stoves, pressure cookers and blenders, how did our ancestors cook? From fire pits to stone grinders? Let's uncover the secrets of ancient cooking methods. Alright, you lot, before you even think about Michelin stars and fancy plating, you need to understand fire. Our ancient ancestors, they didn't have sous chefs and fancy equipment. They had fire, raw ingredients and a whole lot of ingenuity. They dug pits, lined them with stones and learned to control the very element that could make or break their meal. This wasn't some quick sear, no, this was slow cooking at its finest. Meat, vegetables, whatever they could get their hands on, went into those earth ovens. Hours, sometimes days they'd cook, the heat slowly working its magic. And the result? Food so tender, so packed with flavor, it'd make your fancy restaurant dishes look like a bloody disaster. You call yourself a chef, then learn from the masters who cooked with nothing but fire and earth. You think your fancy electric blender is impressive? Our ancestors were grinding and blending long before electricity was even a twinkle in some scientist's eye. They used what they had: stones, the silbata in India, the metate in Mexico. These weren't just tools, they were extensions of the cook's hands. Grains were ground into flour, spices were pulverized into fragrant powders, herbs were crushed, releasing their essential oils. This wasn't just about breaking down ingredients, it was about unlocking their hidden depths, their true flavors. And don't think for a minute this was some quick pulse. This was slow, deliberate work, each movement releasing a wave of aroma that would put your modern spice rack to shame. So put down the blender, pick up a mortar and pestle and learn the true meaning of from scratch. Chapter 3. You see this? This isn't just a pot, it's a revolution. Long before stainless steel and non-stick surfaces, our ancestors were cooking in clay. These pots, shaped by hand, baked by fire, they weren't just vessels, they were partners in the cooking process. The porous clay breathed, allowing steam to escape, concentrating flavors and creating dishes that sang with an earthy richness. Think your slow cooker is impressive? Clay pots have been doing it for millennia. From hearty stews to fragrant biryanis, these pots knew how to coax out the best in every ingredient, transforming simple food into culinary masterpieces. So next time you reach for that metal pan, stop and think. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to go back to basics, to rediscover the magic of clay pot cooking. Chapter 4. You think you've got food storage problems? Try living in a world without refrigeration. Our ancestors didn't have the luxury of freezing leftovers or stocking up on pre-packaged meals. They had to be resourceful to find ways to make food last, and by God did they deliver. Sun-drying, salt-curing, fermentation, these weren't just techniques, they were acts of culinary genius. They transformed perishable ingredients into delicacies that could last for months, even years. Pickles bursting with tangy flavor, dried meats packed with savory goodness, fermented rice teeming with probiotics. These were staples, born out of necessity and perfected over generations. So next time you throw out leftovers, remember the lessons of the past. Learn to preserve, to savor, to make the most of every ingredient. It's not just about reducing waste, it's about honoring the traditions that have sustained us for centuries. Outro. So there you have it. From harnessing the power of fire to mastering the art of preservation, our ancestors were culinary geniuses in their own right. They didn't need fancy gadgets or prepackaged ingredients to create delicious and nourishing food. They relied on their ingenuity, their resourcefulness, and a deep understanding of the natural world. So next time you're in the kitchen feeling overwhelmed by modern technology, take a step back. Remember the lessons of the past, embrace the simplicity of ancient cooking, and you might just surprise yourself with what you can create. Now go on, get cooking, and don't make me come back here and find you using a bloody microwave. From fire pits to clay pots, our ancestors had mastered cooking long before modern technology. Want to try these methods? Comment below and subscribe for more food history.